All right, guys, Mission 1 Pro versus the DJI Action 5. Haven't seen this review yet. The Action 5 isn't that much different than the Action 6. It's a couple less here and there options and that, but the image quality is pretty similar. But anyways, let's knock this out, guys. I want to see if it's worth it. If it's worth more than double the amount. I'm hoping it is, but we will see. I'll let you know some. You'll see later on some really weird things that nobody's talked about. Finicky things on the Mission 1 Pro. But let's get this kicked off. We're on vlog mode. All right, guys, so we're in vlog mode, 8K 30 on the Mission 1 Pro. And with the Action 5 Pro, we are at the 4K 30, okay? It doesn't do more than 4K, but that's where we're at. All right, I got them both on, basically they're natural, profile neutral on Action 5, and the natural on the Mission 1 Pro. So with a 1-inch sensor, you'd think you would get much better image quality, especially when the light gets a little lower. But right now, we're just doing the vlog. So this is 8K 30, and I'm gonna switch it to 4K 30 just to kind of see in a little bit. So at the end of this, I'm gonna go through all the footage because obviously you can't tell by these little screens. The Action 5 screen is actually, the OLED there is actually, I would say, better quality. The one in the GoPro is slightly bigger, but the one in the DJI Action 5 is just, seems more vibrant and colorful for whatever reason. But what do you think so far? Which one takes the cake, right? And I'm also gonna take a couple pictures, and I'm gonna show you some pictures that I took. And you can let me know what you think about that. But one thing I've noticed is the Mission 1 Pro seems to overexpose like certain highlights in the face and things like that, and it'll overexpose it. So I'm not too fond of that, but we'll roll with this and see what happens. But I want to let you know my definitive review because, you know, I used it yesterday pretty thoroughly. I went through the modes just to kind of see, but I wanted to compare it next to, side by side, the Action 5 Pro. That way we can get a good comparison, because I'm used to the 5 Pro. You just, you know, it works. Now obviously the GoPro is gonna have way more frame rates, and so I'm not gonna do the extreme frame rate tests between the two, because what you're seeing is pretty much what you're gonna get. Like, except the GoPro Mission 1 is going to do more frame rates. So I'm gonna go some of the, you know, some of the things that Action 5 can't do, like the almost 1,000 frames a second, the 900 some frames a second. I'm gonna do that test, and also the 240 is pretty sweet. 240 frames per second on the GoPro Mission 1. I got them both on just their normal stave here. Seems to work fine. I don't really notice much of a difference between the two. But this is the 4K 30 now. 4K 30 on both. So we're comparing apples to apples. And, you know, we'll do a zoom in on the 8K 30, of course. And you can see that. But this is 4K 30, and does it differ? I got vlog mode. Basically, it's just certain settings change, nothing you can't change yourself. And I looked through it, and I basically just left most of them the same, except for the subject tracking, because I don't want it to track my face, you know, because if you move out, it'll like catch you and keep you in frame, but I don't want that. Action 5 Pro has that as well, but I'm not going to use that because I can see myself, and I'm just going to keep myself in here. Okay, one good thing about the Mission 1 Pro is, right now, and I'll put the audio of that up, this is using the DJI Mic Mini. And the Action 5 Pro is using the DJI Mic Mini. So I have two different minis on my chest here. Now the one's Bluetooth, the GoPro's Bluetooth. So how does that sound? Nope. It actually connected pretty simple, and when I turn the camera off, put the mini back in its case, take it out, turn the camera on, it actually automatically connected. So that was cool. So at least I didn't have to, I don't have to go out. I mean, obviously the sound's probably not gonna be as good, but I don't have to go out and buy a $150 set, because then you're talking $850 between you getting the microphone and, you know what I mean? It's just like, that's, wow, a lot for an extra camera. But I can use my mic minis that I have with my DJIs with my Mini 1 Pro, Mission 1 Pro. So how is it handling the highlights? How are they handling the highlights? Is the Mission 1 overexposing? I hope not. So that's one good thing about the Mission 1 Pro, is it does connect via Bluetooth, so you don't have to have. Why would you take an Action camera and have to plug in a transmitter? I mean, come on, man. You might as well just carry around if you got to plug in a transmitter with USB and do all that, you might as well just carry on a APS-C or full-frame camera, right? It's about friction, reducing the friction. All right. Now, how does the blades of grass? How is that? Like, what's the thing that they're both on the highest bit rates they have, right? So, and the GoPro Mission 1 there has more bit rate, so it should be able to process, the blades of grass and the fine particles, better. Should be able to. We will put that to the test. This is 60 frames a second. Mom, get out of there.
Trying to go swimming again. Bad.
Crazy dogs.
You get shot.
And so, how's this looking? How does this look? Blades of grass. Are they getting all like mushy and grainy? That has a tendency of happening sometimes. So if it's just too much for it to process, you know what I mean? Okay, so now we have the pictures. Just wanted to show this up here. The one on the left, you can see the Mission 1 Pro is a little more detailed, a little more contrasting in the pictures from afar. But let's go ahead and zoom in and see what we get. All right, now guys, this is like 400% zoomed in, but you can kind of see to the right of my shoulder there, the grass is, you can see the more finer details in the grass and the bushes. So there is more detail with the GoPro Mission 1 on the pictures. But from afar, like I said, it's hard to tell. But, I mean, if you zoom in 400%, you can tell. But from looking afar, you really couldn't tell, just a little more contrasty. But let me show you something interesting. Now, this is one of the quirky things I wanted to show you. This is the grass test. All right, now look, when we zoom in here, you'll see that, look at that. See that? It's like, it's got a moiré issue. And I noticed that in another video I took too, and I'll show that to you. But it does some weird things. So I noticed this recording yesterday. So look at the seat and look at my shirt where the light and the shade hit. So you look at the seat, you'll see it's almost like a purple glitter. It's like a glittery moiré. Let me zoom in real quick and show you what I mean. All right, so we're zooming in here. Look at that. You see that? You see how it's like almost glittery? And I'll look at my shirt where the shade in the sun hit. You see there's like this banding type moiré that's happening. And you can see even the black shirt, it's almost, it kind of glitters down. Okay, but then when you see like the shadow hits the shirt, now it's fine, right? So it's not just ISO, because it's fine now. The shadows they look like shadows, so that's back to normal. So there's no issue with that. And that looks fine. So then check this out. So you see, I come back into the light, and you'll see that the banding and the glitteriness all returns. You see that? It's like a rainbow effect on the left in my shirt. But black shirt's like glittery right now. That's not right. Now the 1,000 frames a second, that's what this is here. This is pretty fun. To be honest with you, this is a cool thing. I mean, especially, you know, if you're doing action sports and, you know, that's where this comes in. I can see where this makes sense, but it's kind of cool to see the dogs. I could get even slow this down a little more, but there would be very little movement here because they were just kind of jogging along. But check this out. Look at that. This is the second half that I didn't slow down. Look at that black thing at the side on the right. It like it's dark on one side and light on the other. I don't know why I did that. But I'm going to address all these things at the very end when I give you my total conclusion shortly here. But this was weird. This is just another little weird type glitch thing that I noticed. All right, a quick low light test here. We have the DJI Action 5 Pro. How does this look? It's on the super low light, 4K 24. And we have the Mission 1 Pro at 24 frames per second. They're both on wide. They're both on their low light settings at 4K. Which one looks better? Now, again, on the screen, I gotta say that the 5 Pro looks better, but I'll let you know again all of my findings and results here at the end. But according to the screens, the GoPro looks muddy. Let's change this around a little bit, see if that helps. It looks kind of faded, less color, less contrast, and everything. But maybe it's just the way the screen's rendering. I don't know. It's on natural profile and neutral profile on the Action 5 Pro. All right, guys, this is the low light test. How does this look? Which one wins? We'll do a quick little zoom in here or something and see where the noise what the noise looks like. So, all right, guys, there it is, low light test. Now, obviously, in stabilization, we can do that too. Let's don't think it's going to look very good, but we, you know, if I'm jogging at night, you don't want to do that. But there it goes, low light test. All right, guys, now for my final results. I was, it's a good camera, okay, but I was expecting more. I mean, I was really rooting for GoPro on this one because I was like, this is it, like DJI Pocket 3 1-inch sensor quality from an action camera. And while it was better in a little bit in most things, it had some quirks and it wasn't as good in some other things. So let me do a quick breakdown. First of all, the battery life, this is about the same. They're about 65% after the full day of what I did. They both started at 100%. So that was good. And the GoPro battery life charges wonderful, fast, almost as fast as the DJI. So that's fine. That's not an issue. The image quality was slightly better. Like you could see it in many places, like the grass, like the pictures even it showed where you could see the grass. It was more higher, you know, a little more detailed on, you know, some of the background, and it was a little more clear. So you could tell it was better than that. But I didn't really care for the colors that much. It wasn't. You'd think it would be like, wow, gotcha colors, but it really wasn't. And yeah, you can change the colors, and yeah, you can do G-Log, right, if you want to do. But I'm talking about, like, this is an action camera, guys, right? I want to turn this thing on and set the basic settings, frame rates, and all that, and have it look good, right? And have it look good. And I can do that. My Pocket 5 Pro, my Action 5 Pro, I just turn it on. I set my settings, right? I have it. I just turn it on and I use it. It's less friction. I just turn it on and I use it. But the issue I had with the image quality wasn't necessarily the colors, because I mean that can be changed. That's flavor for some, but it was the overexposure. Like I even kicked it down a half a notch, and it just seemed like the highlights. There was always a highlight that wanted to blow out, like on my face or my wife's shoulder, and it's just little things I noticed. I guess I noticed it because it wasn't doing it on the Action 5 Pro. And that's why I noticed it. Not that the dynamic range isn't good on it. It is. It's amazing. Look, works great. You know, it's just it overexposes certain areas, certain parts, and a lot of times it was the face. And if you're using it for a vlogging type thing, which is kind of what I was thinking of using it for, thinking maybe it'll replace my Pocket 3 in most situations, except for extreme low light. I was thinking, great, but the image quality just wasn't there for me. Like, it wasn't to that next level. I mean, it was better, but it wasn't next level, like next level. Which brings me to the low light. Like, I thought the low light would be like, whoa, dude, 1-inch sensor, you're talking 30% better at least. But you saw, I put them both on the low light settings, 24 frames per second. And I gotta be honest, I think the Action 5 Pro, but it looked better. And you know why I believe that is, I think the aperture is a little bit wider on the Action 5 Pro. I might be wrong on that, but I think it is because it just seems to bring in a little bit more light. It just looks better in the dark. Well, not dark, but in the low light, in my opinion. I mean, you saw it. What I saw, the Action 5 Pro looks better. I don't know what it looks like on YouTube. I just expected like the low light to be okay. It was going to be night and day, but it isn't. Like, I didn't expect. I'm not expecting it to look like an APS-C or full frame. Okay, I'm not trying to be that critical, but I'm not seeing a lot of this on these reviews, guys. I'm just like, I'm not seeing that. Like, they're kind of quiet about that, and I'm not saying anything negative about their reviews and because they got it free or they got it sent to them. I paid my hard, but if you're paying more than twice as much for a camera, you want to try to get some more of that value. Like, not that it's a bad camera. If they were the same price, I'd choose the GoPro. If they were the same price, right? If I could buy the GoPro, right now I can get the Action 5 Pro, right, for $289 on eBay, right, or even less used, right? So if I could buy it for around $300, okay, I'd probably take the GoPro. But you're talking more than twice the price, and then you still got to invest in the, if you're already in the DJI ecosystem, you got to invest in a mic, and the Bluetooth one worked good, at least. I got to give it to them. That worked good. It doesn't sound quite as good as the transmitter built in like the DJI system, but it did work. And that was good. And it did connect right away. Like, all I had to do is take the DJI mic, turn it on, and it would connect with the GoPro once I had it connected. And that was flawless. So I give them props for that. And their menu system's pretty simple. The GoPro, that I give them props for that. 8K and all that looked great. Was there a big difference? I mean, there was a difference, but there wasn't. It's not next level. That's what I was hoping for. Like, I was thinking, yes, a 1-inch sensor action camera. Like, here we go. It just wasn't what I was expecting, guys. And I got to be honest with you, I actually returned it. I was hoping to keep it, and I was like, this is it, man. This will replace my 5 Pro, maybe, and maybe still keep the Pocket 3, and or just have the like an APS-C and my Mission 1. But because that's what I use now, is I basically go between my Pocket 3 vlogging or my Action 5 Pro. One of the two. I just go back and forth between the two, but it's just not there for me. It's not worth it to get in that ecosystem, spend another $100 on a mic, and then I'm at $850, $800, $800 plus tax. You're $850 all in on this thing, and that's not including any more accessories you want on this thing. And I'm like, man, I paid that for my ZV-E10 too, right? So I'm like, no, I can take that $750 and put it towards something better, something different. So, yeah, it's not that I'm not recommending it. I just, at this price, I just can't. I'm sorry, GoPro. It's just the way it is. I'm going to be honest with you. It's your money that you want to spend. And I'm not saying, like, if you need those frame rates, if you're into the high action sports, it does do those frame rates. The 240, 4K is great. The 480, you got the 960 frames per second. Now, if you do a lot of water sports and skiing and biking, mountain, you probably notice that it'd be better for you. But the issues I had, like the moiré, right? For me, for what I'd use it for, it had little quirky things, like where I showed you the shadow on the you know, and maybe I'm nitpicking it, but I'm like, if I'm paying double and my other one isn't doing that, I paid less than half the price for me, that's not acceptable for what I use it for. For you in bright daylight, maybe you wouldn't have an issue, but for me, I just wasn't feeling it. It wasn't right for me. So, but it doesn't mean it's not right for you, but that's my recommendation. You take it as it is. I'm not trying to bash GoPro. I was really hoping, because I was kind of hyping it at first. I was like, yeah, man, can't wait. And I waited. I pre-ordered the day it came out for pre-order. Waited a whole month for this thing. Excited when it came. Used it all for 2 full days. Just used it, and I was like, that's not it, man. Even from the very first day, I'm like, man, really? I expected more. But you know what? Maybe I'm just, need to get deeper into things. And I tested all so much. And so much I didn't even put on here because I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to. I just sent the camera back. I know I'm not going to keep it. This is not for me. But I hope you got something out of this. And maybe it is right for you. If you want those fast frame rates and you can say, you know what? I use G-Log in the colors and all that. You'll deal with that in color grading. I'm sure that would solve anything that I was probably dealing with. That's fine. But I don't buy an action camera to grade it. I'm more of the, I want to reduce friction. Just like my A7 IV here. I got the DJI mic, the transmitter on there, right through the hot shoe, so I don't have to worry about wires and cables going over. I just turn my camera on, automatically turns my mics on, boom, I'm on. I just like less friction because I just do. But that's me. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and let me know if you have some comments below or have any questions. I'll be happy to answer them. But pray you have a great day. All right.